Welcome to the Daily B Show with Maddie B and Rachel Austen in the house, episode 78 today, giving you inspirational stories that give you every reason and resource to succeed, sharing the concept, believing in yourself, expressing yourself authentically and evolving consciously. Yeah, is the way to go about it. So let's get stuck in. I'm going to get Rachel on board. We're going to have a good chat. She is healing the world naturally, one smile at a time. She's almost finished her study. She's going through this process of putting together this amazing business and services and products for people to really benefit from her gifts and the time that she's put into her study and her craft. And I'm really keen to have a chat to see just exactly what she's been up to, what she's gone through to get to where she is today. And just have a bit of a chat. I mean, me and Rachel met only about a month or so ago at a sound healing and chakra cleansing experience, and that's when we first met. From there, we've just been sort of chatting back and forwards and just sort of sharing bits of it. So it's another example of how you just never know where people are going to come from and who's going to enter your world. But she's really inspirational. She's got really good energy. I'm really keen. And also, you guys are going to have to bear with me with the internet. I'm in a concrete box at the moment, so it might be a bit choppy and changey, but we'll work with what we got and just see where it goes from there. So, Rachel, just let me know if you can add me or ask to be added to the call, or I think there's something, but I just can't see you at the moment, so I might need to jump out and jump back in. Actually, give me one sec, guys. Hold that phone. I'm just going to pause this for a minute. I'll be right back. Un momento. Back with a vengeance. All right. So, guys, if you have any questions for myself or for Rachel as well as we're going, feel free to chuck them in. Rachel is... Woo! Daily B Show. So, guys, we are back in business. Rachel is in the house. She's jumping off the computer and onto her phone, which is how this beautiful, wonderful world of Facebook works. Just let me know if you can hear me okay, because I know the internet is sort of dropping in and out on my end. It has been in a lot of the calls I've been on today anyway. I just got back from the beach. It was a beautiful day. Almost got dragged out to sea and there was no one around, so it sort of scared the shit out of me, but I made it back in one piece. So here we go. All right, add. I see you. Come and join the party, Rach. Guys, keep calm and escape. Episode 78, we're knocking on the door of a century. It's actually really quick. I only started doing these shows in November, I think, October, November. And they've gone really quickly. Picks up momentum, that's for sure. Who is on the level? Hey, Cara. Roslyn. Rachel's asking me to approve for something, but I don't know if it's working on your end or not. Because I can't add you now. It's not allowing me to add you. Which means, why does it do this? Well, you said you're off your computer, so it can't be that. Otherwise, it might be your phone is upways instead of sideways. That could be a thing. What else? G'day, Joe. Good to see you, brother. We're just getting all our wires connected. All right, I'm going to jump out of here. I'm going to give you a call. Give me one sec. Guys, we'll be back. Un momento. Welcome to the Daily B Show with Maddie B and Rachel Austen. Hey, Amzy Bear. Hey, guys. Thanks for jumping on. We've just been doing our best to get connected, which we are doing and in the midst of doing, and we feel like we've sorted it all out. So, guys, let me know where you're at. Let me know what you're up to. I was just saying to Rach, what has it been? It's 7:39. So, only took us, if we get connected in the next minute, it'll have taken us less than 10 minutes really to do this. And I reckon for those of you that watch the show pretty regularly, it's probably taken fucking 15, 20, 30 minutes sometimes to get connected. I remember Shantae Gordon, we literally took like an hour and a half. I think I was meant to be on a 12 with her at night, and we got I was just saying, Rach,
Hey.
with one of the girls in America, it took me 2 hours until we actually started.
Oh God.
Right? So
yeah, everyone would have been over
are,
it by then.
Yeah, we're setting records, yeah.
Yeah. We made it work. Woo! First time. I'm not the most tech savvy human, but that's all right. We sorted it out.
Can you hear an echo at all?
No.
All right. I almost did my own head in then because I don't have headphones now.
Okay.
And usually when the guest doesn't have headphones, it makes this echo that's just soul shattering.
Yeah, I've heard it a few times with your previous live calls, but it's okay now. You can hear it all right?
Yeah.
Good.
Perfect.
All right. Hi everyone.
Hello. So I did a bit of a rundown and a synopsis of what you're up to, but from your own words, can you share for those that haven't met you before, those that are being introduced to you for the first time, a bit about what you're up to, what you're doing with yourself, and who you are.
Okay, sure. Well, I'm Rachel. Hi, and I'm currently I'm in my final trimester of my studies, which is huge for me because it's been a long time. So, studying a Bachelor of Health Science in naturopathy. And it's literally 12 weeks to go, which feels just the longest journey I've been through. It's been very testing and rewarding, and so much has come out of it. Of course, with any journey, it's probably been like over almost 7 years or so. So feeling at a place in my life where all my work is now, I can see where it's all coming. It's, there's been scatters of different parts of the puzzle, and now it's kind of all forming. So I actually had the first week back of uni this week. So last week, sorry. So a good 12 weeks to go, and then I'll be practicing.
Can I ask with
guess.
What was the initial inspiration to get into this, and is it still the same now that you're at almost the end of it?
Yeah, good question. Definitely not. A lot's changed. So I guess originally, it's funny for me. It came through. Well, no, I'll go back to the beginning. So when I finished school, I started to work in a pharmacy full time, and that really opened my eyes up to the world of ill health, I guess. The amount of people that were coming in that were so sick and dependent on, getting their pharmaceuticals, and it broke my heart really, seeing how dependent they were and how ill they were, and just generally unhappy. I could see even at a young age, I was only 18. I could sense their vitality was just depleted. And it kind of, I guess, it concerned me. I was like, shit, what's so, I guess, horrible in your life that's really making you, struggle so much? So it really made me want to delve into, I guess, the psychology of humans, and also, the natural health world as well. So I was in pharmacy for a good 4 or 5 years, and then with that, I left that, and where I'm in Queensland now, but I was living in Melbourne, what was more the Mornington Peninsula, and beautiful town. Yeah, it is. And I guess I was dealing with a lot of the older population in Mornington. It's a nice little place to retire, I guess. So I think at my age, being only early 20s by that stage, I wanted to just be around some fun, people my age. So I thought, I'm going to get out of pharmacy and just go do, general retail, like cosmetics, clothing, all that kind of stuff. And then that, I was in that for years, and then decided, actually, it was funny. So with naturopathy, it came through via a dream, to be honest. So I woke up one morning and I was like, I'm going to be a naturopath.
Really?
Righto.
What?
So then I just started to investigate naturopathy courses and did a bit
Do
of
you remember
reading.
the
And then,
dream?
oh, not necessarily. I remember the feeling that I felt when I woke. And I feel as
Okay.
though, for me, a lot of my messages come through very early morning. So it's not, I feel as though I don't remember my dreams unless they're, a vivid nightmare. But I strongly,
Yeah.
most mornings, I have this sense of this knowing. I think it's before, the analytical mind can come in and override anything else. It's like this heart space of knowing. And
Yeah.
so that's
Cool.
kind of where the desire came up for naturopathy. I was like, oh, that feels good. That's what I'm going to do. And
That's so cool.
yeah, and I wasn't ever really academic throughout school. I was like, oh, I wouldn't consider myself ever, delving into a science degree. But all of that didn't matter. It was like, no, this is a purpose. Like, it felt stronger.
Mm.
And I think that's what's really kept me going through. As I said, it's been a long time. And,
Mm.
to bring in that part of your question being, has my interest changed within that time? It definitely has. And I think with those changes, of course, I've come off my path and thought, what am I doing? This is not even relevant to where I want to go now. But
Yeah.
remembering that feeling that I had of that morning of like, no, this is your purpose, that's kind of kept me in
Yeah.
line.
Okay.
So yeah, with all that said, it feels good now to be at the end of that, and that bit really at the very beginning, because then I can
Yeah.
now weave everything else into it. Like, as the other interests have occurred during the 7 or so years, I can now weave
Yeah.
those little
And that being like
um,
the energy healing, the natural medicines.
exactly, yeah, the energy healing, and also the psychology side of things as well. I'd love to down the line do some studies in psychotherapy and counseling and really incorporate that. But
Yeah.
that'll be further down the line. But at the moment, there's been a real emphasis on energy healing. So I've been doing a lot of little
Mhm.
courses throughout, like Reiki, and then
Mhm.
crystal light healing has really changed my life.
Okay.
And that's only come into my life a couple of years ago, and that's something that I've really had a strong passion for. And I feel that will, I guess, we all attract particular people in terms of clients, and the people that come into our life, we attract for really significant reasons. But I feel the clientele that I may attract will be ones that will really benefit from some deeper, like, emotional,
Mhm.
spiritual kind of healing. And so
Yeah.
that's where I want to weave the crystal healing in. So yeah, we'll see
Cool.
what
Cool.
unfolds.
So something that's coming up for me, right, is, and I want to ask your opinion, is I was on someone else's show and they
Hmm.
told me that I was the most woo-woo person that had been on their show, right? Which I
Yeah.
sort of took as a badge of honor.
Yep.
But the way I sort of see the way I communicate with the people around me, and the people in my network, and also who I seek out, are people that can really bridge that gap between
Mm,
science and spirituality, the physical and metaphysical.
mm,
Um, and I'd just love to hear your take on what that relationship is to the
mm.
tangible and intangible worlds. And I know that there's a lot of hype around the consumer side of spirituality and
Yeah.
enlightenment these days, but someone that's
Yeah.
actually practicing in the energy healing being really is science now. That's not spirituality
Mm,
anyway. But
mm,
what is, yeah, your take on that side of, I don't know, the stigmas that come up, and just your own
mm.
opinions as you hear me speak.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good point, because for a lot of my life, I've been pushing this natural innate, I guess, attraction I've had to energy work and that kind of stuff. And I've always, I think, from my upbringing as well, like, I've had a dad that was very scientific, and then a mum that was more kind of creative and spiritual, and I've kind of got to experience both, and then I've got to kind of take what I want from each and combine them. But
Yeah.
and I think with the beginning of, I mean, this is, of course, this is my experience of weaving the two together. I might not be answering your question directly, but my experience has been wanting to dive into naturopathy for the energetic side of it, because our plants, they're these living beings that hold their own essence and their own energy, and that's kind of what drew me to it. But then I was kind of, I don't know, taken aback with the depth we had to go in with naturopathy, like all the biochemistry and the pathophysiology and the anatomy and all of that. And I didn't really anticipate that it would be such a science heavy degree. And so I think with me, and then back then, I feel perhaps it was a circle I was in, but people weren't as open to naturopathy. They thought naturopathy was woo-woo, you know, so I'd never even mention the thought that I was wanting to do other energy work. So I think for me, it came from a place of not quite feeling comfortable with myself and who I am. So I wanted to shy away from that side of me. And then, yeah, I guess dive into the more, you know, scientific kind of stuff, which is definitely required with the degree. So now I guess I've come to a place where I don't care what anyone, you know, thinks. If I'm woo-woo or whatever, that's, you know, we all are individual, and if we're all the same, that'd be boring as fuck. So I think it's good to all have our own spin on it. So for me, it's now I'm kind of accepting that part of me and wanting to weave them together.
Yeah, I love it.
That doesn't really answer your question though. That's just like a bit of a tangent, but whatevs.
Yeah. So, and just listening to you talk since we first met and caught up as well, like you are like very engaging and really easy to listen to, and you do have a head full of a lot of wisdom as well.
Thanks,
but again, like I know that just from the few chats that we have been having together, it's taken a long time. It's taken a lot of energy and a lot of effort, and it's very easy for people just to see where people are right now and see that and just see the triumph of it, but not see the beneath the bottom of the iceberg of what actually had to go into getting you to where you are right now. So can you share a bit about before you had that realization from that dream, before you were on this journey, and what life was like, and what were some of the struggles or limitations that you felt and the things that you feel?
Yeah, absolutely. God, many. Like, I think, you know, for all of us, God, like, you know, your teens were so painful. And for me, I think a lot of my, so I guess a lot of what shaped me of who I want to be and who I feel the parts of me that I want to share, I guess have come from a place of self-loathing, to be honest, like this sense of self-rejection. And it was like some, you know, deep-seated feelings of not being accepted or appreciated or respected, and for years and years. And that was you know, just from a lot of different, like a number of experiences, I guess, with, you know, just high school and all those kind of things that can really throw you when you're so vulnerable, and when you're so, you know, being a massive empath too, like just feeling everything and feeling overwhelmed when I felt this, like just social engagements would be quite overwhelming and challenging. And so I think that, I guess before I'd...
Can you paint a bit of a picture, like more so like of when you're in those moments as well? Like what were some of the things you were really going through as a young woman or as a teenager, that some of the situations you sort of the cycles that you found yourself in and really struggling with back then?
Yeah, sure. I guess it was, to paint a picture, just a sense of feeling lost and not really knowing who I was, and trying to find who I was through what other people perhaps thought of me. And I guess not having a grounded foundation of perhaps my morals, or perhaps, you know, my values, and what was important to me. And I think I wanted to feel this sense of being accepted, you know, socially. And I think to paint a bit more of a clear picture, I think for me, like I grew up in the country, and when I was about 12 or 13, we moved to Melbourne, and started high school in year 8. And I think that really was challenging, because I didn't have the foundational friendships as you do in primary school with your peers, and then you go into high school. And I think I found that really hard, just to feel accepted, you know, going into a high school where everyone's already established their community, and it's such a vulnerable age too. So I think feeling a bit rejected in social circles and situations just really like crushed me. And that really, you know, then made me feel, okay, well, I'm not good enough, or, and then that played on self-worth issues, and that just kind of spiraled, I guess. So then there was years of, some dark depression for a while. And, but I've always had, a really strong support network with my family. I've got, an amazing sister that's just been my best friend forever. And she's just so fucking strong. And she's, Melissa. Yeah, if she's watching. Melissa. Yeah. I might get rid of these people. How do I explain? Get rid of them. Sorry guys, it's distracting. So I've always had, my rock being my sister, and then my mum as well has just always been such an amazing, caring woman, and then 2 older brothers as well, and then my dad. So I feel like I've had a really great family support, but then socially, I always just felt this sense of, I don't know, and perhaps it was me just being oversensitive, and, I just felt what I thought they were feeling or what they were thinking towards me. So, and I just took it all on. And then, and I think with all that, now it's, shaped me in terms of wanting to relate to youth, like young girls that are going through mental illness and, self-worth issues and stuff. Like I'd love to, help people like that. And, with what I've been through, and then, I guess just empower people, like, fuck, life's so short. And
what were some of the catalysts looking back to get you from that feeling of lost senses of worthlessness or not being accepted? Was there and you said your family had a big part to play, but in a social setting, because you definitely don't come across as someone that struggles with that anymore.
And that's it's funny you say that, and that's because I am quite an introverted person, and I don't like public speaking. Like I was, huh?
You said that earlier.
Yeah, I was sweating balls when you were like, let's do a call. I'm like, hell no, I'm not doing that. So I'm not someone that likes to put my face forward at all. But I guess, I don't know, years of retail, and you kind of learn how to just be, I don't know, to be confident within that moment. But but no, naturally I'm more of an introverted kind of. Yeah.
What do you do then in those moments to recognize that, okay, this is the social anxiety that I used to feel. I've now built up some skills that can allow me to step into these social settings and maintain composure still, because that's what I find it really is. Like, can you share that? Because I know I've personally got some friends that struggle with this. And I know there's many people out there that really have those social anxieties. But for yourself, what would you say to those people, and how can you share some of your experiences in getting to where you are now in that sense?
I guess just reminding yourself that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks of you, really. Like Mum used to always say when I was a kid, whatever anyone thinks of you is none of your business. And I think it's.
I told that to my mum today. I said, Mum, when people think about you, it's none of your fucking business.
And I was like, yeah, it is. Like, but no, it's really not. I think as long as you're being yourself and you're being authentic, and then it's like, well, if no one wants to accept you, then they, you don't want to be mates with them anyway. Who gives a fuck, really? So I think just in those moments.
7.6 billion people on the planet.
Yeah,
we're not short of friends.
That's it, exactly. So I think in those moments, I'm just like, you know what? Don't even worry. Just be who you are. And once I came to accept who I am, then that's what I just remind myself. I'm like, yeah, but I'm me. If I was like them, that'd be boring. So, I guess how do people accept themselves?
Yeah. How do you? How did you to start with?
I think I'm still working on it, but I guess it's banking on the things that you like about yourself. Like, I guess telling yourself again, reaffirming that, I've got, I'm a nice person, or I'm this, or whatever trait it is. And then reminding yourself of that, and focusing on the positive traits that we all have, and not so much the downfalls, which, are still, they're positive as well, because we're learning from them, I think, God, I don't know. I don't feel like I can really share advice on that, but it's just like a sense of just reminding yourself that you're doing a good job. Like whatever we're doing, whatever
Yeah.
occurs is supposed to, I think, and whatever
Yes.
yeah, whatever we're experiencing and whatever we're feeling is just another step to kind of, to evolve.
Necessary
So
step to the next things.
yeah, yeah. And also, and I guess actually know one thing I like to do, like say if I've been somewhere, not so much these days, but when I was going through this, my like early 20s and stuff, or even late, all my 20s, really, my late 20s, I'd go home, say I'd be driving home, and I'd be like, good job, like you nailed that. And I'd kind of, replay it and think, yeah, that was fine. It was a lot easier than what I thought it was going to be, So I think it's just celebrating the little wins, that they don't have to be big, but just reaffirming and telling yourself that, yeah, you did a good job. That's good. You put yourself out of your comfort zone. You feel proud of yourself for doing it. I think I feel like we're all our own worst enemies. And I think to acknowledge and feel proud
Yes.
of doing something, then I find I do that a lot now,
Cool.
like,
That's
because
good.
because I've had such a negative chatter, like the shit that I used to say to myself was so toxic. So now I'm trying to reverse that and be like, no, you've done a good job. Like you did all you could, or whatever the topic or situation was. It was I've really found that's worked for me. Just telling, giving yourself a pat on the back and be like, oh, you did good. You did the best
What I
you
hear
could.
from you is you've become really good at shifting your perspective. It sounds
Mm,
like back
yeah,
then, and even from our conversation today, right?
yeah,
It started with this narrow perspective of what can potentially go wrong or what's not going to happen or why to do it, and then
yeah.
all of a sudden, like you just went through this process of just expanding your view of the possibilities
Mm,
and just shifting your perspective. And as soon as that happened, it was just
yeah.
done. So I can imagine looking back, maybe that period of time used to take a lot longer, where now it's
Mm,
within minutes from what I saw today.
mm,
But just,
yeah.
yeah, big perspective shifts.
Mm, yeah. Thanks for that. That's a good observation. I feel that resonates. I think so too. I think I used to just ruminate on shit for way too long, and then
Mm,
it's got to a point where it's like, no, that's silly. That's just overthinking stuff. Um, so there's no need to dive into that. That'll just be a deep dark,
yeah.
spiral of thought. So just to put things in perspective, I guess. You know.
Because people do latch on to their thoughts. And actually, this has come up in
Yeah.
conversation the last 2 days for me with people, is
Mm,
how strongly people and how much charge people give one specific thought and allow that to
yeah.
just consume their emotions and their energies. And then that leads to one other one when
Mm.
you just
It's
follow the
just a
ripple effect.
catalyst for it's just that ripple effect, isn't it? There's just
Mm.
one negative thought leads to another, and you just got to pull yourself out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So tell me, looking forwards now,
Hmm.
um, another topic or just conversation that's come up recently is just how we've just got the present moment. The future and the past is but an illusion. And so when
Yeah.
we're thinking of obviously the past, there's ways of balancing out past experiences so they don't
Mm.
consume us, but also looking forwards, there's ways that we can look and create a destination, basically our utopian idea of the future,
Mm.
and create that. Obviously, let it go and just live in the present moment. But if we're going to think of the
Mm.
future, might as well think big. So tell me about your future and what some destinations you see in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is something that I can actually delve into. I think for me, even internally, because I guess throughout studies, I had this limitation of, all right, well, I'm studying. I don't have the time or the money to really think, these expansive, big thoughts. So now it's like I'm coming to the end of that. Now I'm like, wow, this is like just been reborn. So I guess so I really want to and you mean just in terms of business or just in general, like how I see my
You
future?
tell
Well,
me.
I guess, yeah, it's my future. It's how I want it. Well, I
Exactly.
guess, I think, well, I would really love to start to put all this work into practice and start to, I guess, um, share my gifts, and and I guess meet like-minded people that want to kind of collaborate in that respect. I would really love though to. I'm really drawn to Hawaii. I really want to go and spend a good couple of months in Hawaii and just do a bit of soul searching there, and
Yeah.
and take what comes from that into my practice when I come home. So I feel like that'll kind of happen in the next 12 months or so. And not put too much
What kind
pressure
of
on.
people are you drawn to work with after doing all you
Um,
studied?
um, oh, I guess an array of people that are in the field of, I guess, I don't know, raising consciousness and psychotherapy, psychology kind of stuff. I'd love to collaborate with some people like that.
Yeah.
I'm very drawn to sound healing as well. I've met, like, since being on the coast, met some really interesting people that, actually, that's where we met when we went to that sound healing.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm drawn to Hawaii. I feel like there's a really, I don't know,
Okay.
special energetic thing going on there with sound healing, and I really want to learn the like the hand drum, like the pan hand drum. It's a Hawaiian thing.
Oh,
Like,
is
it's
the
just,
domes in it?
yeah,
The little.
yep. And that's just got such a beautiful sound that just feels like it's a real healing, like, heart space kind of. Oh, it's amazing. So I just feel very much drawn to sound healing, and energetic stuff as well, of course. But then the consciousness and the psychological kind of stuff as well. So, but yeah, I think whoever.
So bigger picture with this kind of work and utopian look at the future where you can collaborate with all sorts of people around the world that are raising their consciousness on this level. What would you like to see happen in the next 20 to 50 years in this field? It's a big question.
It is a huge question, and but just to bring it down, just people to love themselves, and I think once we find this sense of happiness, and self-love, then it's just, we're all going to be living our life from a happier standpoint. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, just a self-acceptance, and just doing what you feel drawn to, not worrying too much about what anyone thinks of you. And I think if we all were able to come from a place that, if that is our major drive, like, just coming from a heart space, just loving yourself and your people around you, and then I don't know, that sounds so fucking cliche, but I don't really know in
No, that's
terms of a
good. I love
bigger,
it.
like, a 50-year picture. But yeah, for me, that's just, something that's I can relate to.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And this is a thing, like, people, and even maybe yesterday, someone said, "I just want to change the world." I'm like, well, me too. But what I'm recognizing is that the best way to change the world is by just changing myself.
Yeah,
And I know
totally.
that by changing one person, which is
Yeah,
yourself, like, that
yeah.
just has an exponential ripple effect.
And deal
And
with something that we can control, like, we've got the power to feel how we want to feel. We can't predict how anyone else is going to react to us, or how they're going to feel. Like, so why try to control something like that? But to share the skills on how to heal yourself and love yourself, then that's where it's at, I think.
can you explain energy healing for those that are unaware or just want a bit of a basic understanding of what that means and how that works?
Yeah, I guess there's so many different elements. So I guess my take on it, and I guess the kind of energy healing I want to do is, it's about, I mean, I guess because there's so different, many types, but for me, I've done some Reiki and then some crystal healing. So with that being energy healing, I guess Reiki is when you're just channeling energy from, like, a higher source, or your higher self, or whatever you want to call it. Um, and for me, my experience of that has been more, not necessarily emotional stuff. I think it's been more like physical kind of ailments and things. Like, as a kid, Mum used to always get migraines, so I used to heal her migraine. So that was, I guess, in my mind, this concept of, like, a physical ailment that needed healing. So that's my take, I guess, on the Reiki energy. But yeah, essentially, it's a channeling that we can all do if we're open to it. And then the crystal side of it, that's more using the crystals as tools, and using particular crystals that hold a particular energy, with that correlate with each, cheers brother, that correlate with each chakra. And so it's a matter of, I guess, just, our energy portals, like our chakra points of the body, can become, I guess, can become, I guess, stuck or blocked in some way, from emotional trauma or any kind of trauma, physical as well. So in order to kind of just help shift blocks and help to kind of just, get, because they're spinning, so to help kind of get them spinning again at the vibration they should be spinning on. The crystals can help with that as well. Or so many different things can. Acupuncture as well with meridian points, and there's so many different aspects to it. But for me, I guess in terms of energy, I use that Reiki channeling within chakra points, and then use the crystals as well. So it gives someone this sense of just coming back to self and just calming the nervous system, and also it can create some real kind of, I don't know, just a lot of knowings, and they just kind of, when they come out of it, they just feel like they've got the answers, I guess. Like it's a way of coming back to self and then surrendering and letting thought stuff come in that should, like the positive energy, I guess. But
yeah, I feel it. It's one of the biggest lessons that's been coming up for me the last sort of 6 months, I'd say, is trusting and letting go, and trusting in just that knowing, that the intuitive feels that come through, the thoughts or the emotions that arise that I can't really rationally explain, but just having a lot of trust in that, and it's a full-on process to go through, but there's a lot of magic in the world that we can tap into if we allow it.
I agree, there really is, and it is a matter of surrendering to it, isn't it? Like it's within us, and just allowing it. And we're all, we're on a mission, like we're warriors that are like, oh, and we're kind of in like that, fight or flight mode, and we're just ready to defend ourselves. It's just like, if we just kind of accept and surrender to it, then we that's where we get these inner wisdoms and things that can come through, and stop trying to control everything.
So people talk about living from their heart. You want to explain for you what that means?
I think for me, actually, so my reason to move, to relocate to the Sunshine Coast from Melbourne, I think was a heart space motive. Like in terms of, I was in my final year of my studies, and I had and I still do have such an amazing social network down there, like these amazing sisters that they've just, love them to bits and miss them dearly. And I had, I was at a great job, and like a good part-time job, and I loved my campus and my lecturers and everyone I was surrounded by, and I had my family, of course, and everything was great, but I just had this strong urge, this heartfelt urge to relocate. So my mum moved up to the Sunshine Coast, like, I don't know, 4 years or so, and then so I'd always go up and visit her a couple of times a year. And whenever I was up here, I just felt this strong, I don't know, this sense of home, like this, and not necessarily with mum, of course, that's a homely sensation, but just being in the ocean and being in the rainforest, and it was this strong, like, heart kind of driven, oh, hang on, sorry, just get that out. Yes, I would, a heart-driven desire almost, and I'd come back to Melbourne, and even though my heart was full in a lot of aspects in Melbourne with my external surroundings, there was something internal that was missing. Like, whereas I felt that on the sunny coast, and I felt this strong sense to be there and to relocate and start a business there. And so, in terms of making decisions, on a heart base. Feeling rather than logically working out, that for me was an example of, all right, I'm going to start to live every day like that, and then see what unfolds. Because once I did move, and I've been here for like just over a year now, and so many beautiful things have come into my life, and I've met some amazing people, and I've just it's just catapulted me onto this journey that I've wanted to go on, and so so that's kind of given me the confidence, I guess, to just live like that as often as I can and make decisions based on feeling rather than the over analytical mind. So, and yeah, in terms of coming from a heartfelt place, it's just connecting to yourself and what feels right, having that ability to just feel into things rather than overthink them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think when you do start to build evidence on it as well, that's when it really could build up the amount of confidence you have in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just keeps getting stronger and stronger because,
or
for me anyway, every decision still like there's an element of like, okay, holy shit, I really do, like logic is telling me to go the other way.
Yeah.
I really got to trust it because the logic sounds so logical.
Yes. Funny that. Yeah.
But yeah, heart guidance is really powerful. So it's really cool. And you bring up your business as well. I'd love to I don't know, just have a bit of a chat about your perspective on getting into business and in this the healing modality as well. Some of the challenges or pitfalls you've found so far. Just what your take on is it just on it, looking forwards as well, and what you're sort of anticipating and what you're hoping for.
Sure. I know. That's all right. Well, it's very, very early stages, so I haven't, I guess, had too many challenges come up as yet. So at the moment, I'm just working on some logo design, and even something as simple as business cards, and beginning like the venture of a website and all those kind of little crucial things that need to be done still haven't even fallen into place as yet, because my energy has just been on the time that's needed to finish the degree. But
is it 12 weeks to finish your degree?
Yeah, 12 weeks. Yeah.
Countdown's begun.
Oh yeah. So then that's when all those little kind of bits and pieces will unfold, come May. And then I guess the way I see it, the vision is to two entities, I guess, myself being of service in terms of naturopathy consults, and energy healing if required. It's not everyone's cup of tea, so I'll base that on what the person's wanting. And yeah, I'm kind of open at the moment. I'm not too fixed on any ideas in terms of where I'm going to practice or what it's going to look like. I'm just open to seeing what occurs. Hey?
Starting Hawaii.
Yeah, that's it. Just see, let it unfold. And then I've also got some exciting plans of physical vibrational medicine products that I'm working on at the moment. So they'll be, and that's a reflection of me wanting to dive into my creative space, which I'm really looking forward to. Getting out of the assignment writing, like that really heady stuff, and and getting into using my hands and creating things, and that's what I can't wait to dive into. So I'm in the midst of beginning that as well. So it's all very new, as I said, but so then with me as a service, I will incorporate this other entity of the business, incorporate those together. But yeah, the bigger vision is just being somewhere in a great little healing space, clinic somewhere with some like-minded peeps that have the same goals, and just work together and see what comes of it. Yeah,
that's amazing. One thing that I've noticed is when I say I'm going to do something, almost within minutes to maybe a couple of days, like people just come into my life that are either there to support that journey or a few steps ahead of me, so I've got someone to learn from or to model.
Yeah.
And you're actually someone that, like, I'm about to journey around America and collaborate with people that it's called the Businesses with Soul Summit, and people that are either getting into business or have been running their own businesses based on stuff that they're really truly passionate about, that they're wanting to use to collaborate to raise the consciousness of the collective and to impact individuals on a local level, because that being the greatest way of impacting the whole world as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, it's really cool just having someone like yourself that's basically in this space getting to exactly the same thing. And just really just following your heart, following your passions as well, because it's a great example where there's not there's a lot out there, but there's not enough. And the more that we do really step out and put our balls on the line, so to speak, and follow our passions, it's set a great example. And I want to ask, like, have you had backlash from friends or from family or your network or yourself even about what you're doing, and or has it just been so dead on that you just knew that was coming?
Oh, before I answer that, I want to applaud you as well for what you're doing at the moment. Like, you're really putting, as you say, your balls on the line, and you know, doing that little trip in Miami, and following your journey throughout that's been really really exciting as well, just to see, you know, given that, like, when I met you those couple of months ago, you were saying this is quite new for you, and now to see how passionate you are about that is where you are today and what you're doing, and it's like fucking respect, man. That's great. So in terms of,
I've got people like you that inspire me. I've got a lot of people around that are just setting the bar, like literally raising the bar, and and all the people that are watching and who watch this, and we were talking about this when we first caught up, like the community that we've fallen into here, and it's worldwide, is fucking next level. They're raising the bar, and we're all holding each other accountable, and we're all sort of doing bits to push each other up to the next level as well.
It's
such
definitely
a beautiful, supportive environment that we're in.
And being around genuine people too, that do hold you accountable, as you said, but also call you on your shit as well. When, you know, if you're not being your authentic self, or you're just, you know, just having just being a wank about it or whatever. But yeah, having people that actually care about you and want to, call you on your shit, I really appreciate. So yeah, I think it's so important to be around people like that. But yeah, in terms of your question, there's probably been, I don't know, I guess for me, a lot of my friendship group has been in this field. I've always worked in like post pharmacy and retail, been in health food shops. I've always been around people that are kind of encouraging of that kind of field. So in terms of naturopathy, I mean, there's always a couple of people that, you know, kind of question you on why you'd choose that, but nothing strong enough that comes to mind that's really, you know, tested me. I guess it's been, I mean, there's been my own stuff that's like, what am I actually doing? Because there's, you know, as we said in the initial questioning at the start of the convo, there was, you know, my passions had changed, and I'd you know, but kept going through with what I wanted to do. But there was parts of it that I really didn't enjoy, and I thought, well, this is not really in line with what I want to be doing, but I just saw the bigger picture, so I stuck with it. So yeah, probably more my own shit than external naysayers, I think. And I'm just, I guess, I was going to say, but this is live, I was going to say I'm selective with who I share my shit with, but not so much right now, because
not anymore.
But I'm usually quite selective with who I talk about, say, energy stuff with, because I've been quite cautious of how people would receive it, you know, in the past.
That's the bag.
Yeah.
Goddamn hippies.
I know. But anyway, that's so good.
It is all good.
I really don't care.
The thing I love about this, like being authentic, right, and really putting it out there, is you really repel quickly the people that aren't vibing on the same level, which is great.
Absolutely.
And you really attract really powerfully into you the people that are, because of how open you be. So it's definitely a benefit that I've seen of doing these videos and jumping on lives and really interacting with the community online. It's really powerful, really, really powerful.
It is. Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
One thing that's come up is I want to ask about, there's a lot of healers, there's a lot of service providers that have great intention. They get into business to do what they do, but then they essentially create themselves a job in what they're doing. And a lot of them have left out the business mindset or the business education around creating a successful business, so they can scale and actually impact people at a larger level and not struggle themselves and actually and do what they do to the best of their abilities. But do you have you thought about this? Have you got a plan around this? Have you got people around you that you're modeling, or like, what's your what does the future look like in that sense?
Yeah, it's a really good point, I think, for people in a field like this. There's, you know, it's the intention behind it isn't necessarily a financial one, is it? You know, it's a sense of, you know, wanting to help in one way or another. So that's where, yeah, it's a huge downfall for a lot of us that don't necessarily. And I guess within the degree, there's not a lot of business subjects. There's one like professional practices, which gives you a little insight on beginning a practice, but and I guess the legal aspects of it and that kind of thing. But in terms of yeah, business coaching and mentoring, and that's something that we all, you know, I guess we're expected to outsource post. So that's something I'm definitely going to be open to looking into. And I think yeah, just I mean, within the final 12 weeks, there's a lot of discussion around this, you know, with our supervisors and things. So they give us the insight they can. But yeah, I'm definitely, and actually, you know, speaking of, you know, attracting the right kind of people, I have just recently been connecting with some beautiful humans that are in that field of, you know, business coaching. So I'll definitely, yeah, invest a lot of time into that. Because it's, yeah, not something that I'm experienced with. You know, you have a vision of how it's going to work, but all the other little elements of it, I wouldn't really have a lot of like a thorough understanding of.
We don't know what we don't know.
And yeah, that's it.
We can learn from mistakes, but at the same time, we can learn from other people's mistakes really quickly and leapfrog a lot of them at the same time. So, is there, on that note, like while we're here, is there anyone that you'd like to just do a shout out to that you'd like to draw into you to learn from, or any I don't know, anyone that you'd love to collaborate with in a certain way, shape or form that you'd like to just chuck out there?
Yeah, I guess I'm very open. I don't want to limit myself to just a few, but I guess anyone that's yeah, living from a place of a heart space kind of intention, and to collaborate with, I guess, but and anyone that's I guess helping in terms of business mindset, someone that kind of, I guess, has worked with people in this industry and in a healing space where yeah, they're savvy with that kind of thing. But I don't know, I just feel quite trusting that it's all just going to present itself when it's supposed to. So it does, yeah. Whoever you know comes, and they're welcome. You know, play it by ear and see what comes of that.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always like a hawk. I just watch people, so observant. Lately, I've been modeling children, been watching kids in the street and just copying what they do.
That's a beautiful idea, because they're you know, in the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, fully in the moment.
That's a great idea. Yeah, they're not worried about what anyone's thinking of them or what they've got to do later on. They're just like, I'm going to go on my skateboard, and I'm going to, you know, they're just in that moment of whatever they're doing, that activity at hand. That's a great idea.
Jumping in the middle of puddles and scratching their necks.
Yeah, exactly. No fear.
I want to ask, what is the underlying intention with this healing? Is it, in the sense of, is it you want to create a better future for people? You want to ease the pain and suffering of people in the present moment? Like, if there is an underlying intention.
Yeah, probably more present moment. I just want to, I guess, remind people that we've got everything we need just to feel better about ourselves, I guess. You know, there's an array of different modalities we can incorporate to get us on that path. And then I guess it's just self-empowerment. So, you know, call out for help when you need it, and then, you know, learn from it what you will, and then remind yourself of how that felt, and then bring yourself to that place again. I guess that sense of, you know, so we're not always having to look externally to heal or to feel better about things. It's like, it's all, you know, we've got this on our own, and we can, I mean, depending on the circumstances, of course, it's, you know, that's just a really quite a blanket statement, but yeah, I guess, so it's, yeah, the intention is just to remind people that they've all got that ability just to, you know, to heal themselves in one way or another, or at least give themselves the confidence to potentially, source out external help if, for that time, but it doesn't need to be an ongoing thing. It's, they're going to, seek for that help, and then they'll learn from that experience and then take it on board and, keep it within them and come back to that place when they need to, I think. So, yeah.
And then it'll evolve. And that's, you do that for multiple people and inspire them to join that and do that for others as well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. And even the dialogue around it, like if you're having coffee with your friends and, if someone talks about how they've been through a really shit time, but they've just managed to, pull their shit together just by these little simple practices that works for them. And, that dialogue is reminding someone else that, yeah, true, I can do that too. Like I've got that power to make myself feel better. So yeah, in terms of that ripple effect, just a reminder that, and again, depending on the circumstance, there's some things that we that we can't control, and we do need to source help for them, of course. But yeah, in a longer, I guess, time frame, like seeking that help when needed, and then reminding yourself of how to access it again within you. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That makes sense.
I'm sort of trying to figure out my own intention for this trip that I'm going on, and how to draw people in. So I've been asking everyone that question lately, just to sort of piggyback and sort of see where the vibe is. But I love the thought of just that, like just giving people that self-belief really within themselves to go out there and authentically be themselves. The skills and the processes and the tools needed to get to that space, but then have them so inspired that they want to go out there then and share that with their neighbor.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and feeling empowered enough to share it, not being fearful of how it's going to be received or anything. But yeah, that's a good point in terms of still working out your intention. I feel the same. Like it seems something that's so, it's day dot. It's like the basic thing of, this is why I'm going to go on this journey because this is my intention, but you can kind of lose it along the way a little bit. It can become a little bit blurry, and then other aspects come in and it changes and adapts. So yeah, to not be quite sure of what it is as a whole, but we've still got the essence of the intention, I think. So I guess I'm still working it out too.
I ask people a lot who say that they want to change the world. Like you hear that a lot, but then they're walking down the street with a frown on their face, or they're like you can literally smile at someone down the street and you've changed someone's life. So
that's it. That's it. Yeah, I think like little baby steps. It's good to think big, of course, but we have to be realistic as well at the same time and do what we can for ourselves first, and then the peeps around us, and then that'll expand. Yeah.
Flow on. That's it.
Yeah.
A couple of quick questions. What do you believe above all else?
Oh.
No pressure.
What do I believe above all else? That we all have a higher purpose. Like I think we're all here for a significant reason. And even if we don't know what it is, the belief above all else is that there is a significance for me.
Yeah, I love it.
That makes sense.
Mine is that Sporty Spice is the best one out of the 5.
Oh, really? I reckon Baby Spice is all right. Sporty is
Get out of here.
No, Baby was good. Oh man, the Spice Girls. I feel like I'm going to dance around my room and listen to them once this phone call's over.
Why when it's over? Are we going to break out into a few bars?
Let's do it. No, let's not.
Because the next question was, how do you love expressing yourself?
Dance, definitely. Yeah, absolutely dance. And I've always like high intensity exercise. I find I feel really empowered when I'm training. So yeah, I love to just train. So movement, body movement, be it dance, be it high intensity training, running, expression through the body. Yeah.
Expression through the body. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. That's my favorite thing to do too.
Yes. That could be taken in so many different ways, but
it's meant to be.
Make of it what you will.
And where do you feel your current ceiling is of where your evolution is to break through next?
I guess it's the business stuff. I think like I guess the ceiling being the limitation, being the
Present challenge.
yeah, I guess breaking through to put all the time and effort that I've spent on what I've been doing to now make that into a tangible business, I guess. So yeah, I guess that would be the ceiling. Be the the ceiling would be that little limitation of the next journey of learning how to incorporate how to run a business and how to go about those, marketing and all the rest of that would be the little limitation.
So that's in the outer world. What about on the inside?
Okay, yeah. Well, with that comes, self-belief again. Like that's just, it's a constant thing, ebbs and flows for me. So, and there'll be days where I'll be doing external things, say, be it trying to do marketing and stuff. So then the inner critic and the internal world will be more the self-doubt. So to come back to what we've spoken about, it's like, don't worry, this is fine. This is, you can work this out. Just that little, that positive affirmations of you'll be fine. You'll get it sorted. If not today, tomorrow, you'll be fine. It'll work out. Just trusting.
Comes up too loud.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's beautiful. Is there, do you have any questions for me?
Oh, well, I guess I'm intrigued more about the trip you've got ahead. So you're traveling around America, and tell me what it's not really a workshop, is it? It's tell me a little bit about that, okay. I think.
So is the vision at the moment, right, is to cut a couple of laps of the States. I'm going to get some RV camper vans and an LED sign company to strap on LED signs around these camper vans and sell them as advertising space to businesses, so we can saturate the market for them as we go around. And from that'll basically fund the trip, and I'll put on probably 1 to 2 live events each weekend in different cities around as we're traveling around. Right. And just do this, like collaborate with innovative business innovators, thought leaders, industry professionals, and just people that are really in that heart space and following their passions and helping just guide their own local communities and the individuals in there to do the same thing, to believe in themselves, follow their passions, and give them the tools to do that. And then take the Daily B on the road and just, chat with different people in the different towns as we're cruising around, go on a bit of an adventure and just meet a whole heap of crew. Yes. Second lap the first lap I really just want to really connect and build a lot of relationships like that. Yep. The second lap, we're doing much of the same, but I want to promote a main event, which I've got a few visions and thoughts of what to do and how to do that, but I'm promoting a main event where I have some bigger speakers there and see what comes out as well.
Yeah, excellent. Oh, well, I wish you all the best. That
sounds awesome.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm excited to follow your journey and see what comes of it. And it sounds really inspiring. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you so much, babe. Do you have any parting words of wisdom that you'd like to share with the audience and the people watching?
Oh, I don't know. I guess the things we've spoken about, of course, we've touched on is just, we're all doing a good job. We're doing, the best we can in any situation that's at hand. So I guess words of wisdom are just, keep doing what you're doing and just have trust that everything will kind of work out. Whatever you're striving for, whatever visions you want to create, just know that they will evolve with time. I think if we just, if our intentions are right and if it's what we truly want, then it will unfold eventually. So it's just trusting and knowing that it's all good. We don't need to, stress about the things that we do. It's going to be all right. Eventually it's just, this too shall pass kind of thing, whatever it is we're going through. Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
And where can people connect with you as well?
Well, I guess via Facebook, as you've tagged me with this, and then actually I will say, so within my final 12 weeks, if anyone's in Brisbane and they want a naturopathic consultation, then we're open to taking clients. So it's Wednesdays and Thursdays every week for the next 12 weeks. I'd love to come to meet you if you wanted to come into Brisbane for a consultation. And, you know, we can talk about all kinds of things, whatever it is that's going on for you. It doesn't have to be, you know, related to your diet. It could just be emotional stuff that's going on, anything that's occurring. Naturopathy has a really beautiful way of finding, you know, solutions, and even just if it's counselling or whatever it might be. So yeah, if anyone's keen, you can jump on my Facebook page, and there's a little post I did as well, so you can just have a read of that, and then just private message me via Facebook. It'll be good to have some more experience and meet some people that are open to a naturopathy session with a final year student. So that'd be great. Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Oh, well, thanks so much, Matt. This has been fun. I was shitting bricks thinking, hell no, I'm not doing this, but it's been really nice. So thank you.
It was smooth, it was easy, and yeah, you did really great. And thank you for joining us and sharing your wisdom, opening up, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, authentic, and share what's going on, because I know that heaps of people will get a lot out of it, and it's always a pleasure. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks. All right, man. Talk soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for watching, guys. Speak soon.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.